wall behind my computer. And so I hang stuff there. You know, it just makes me feel more connected.
Yeah.
In that way. And it's nice. It's a conversation piece, right? Like, people are like, oh, who drew this one? Like, this is so nice. And I'm like, oh, my daughter. She's super talented. Unlike me, who's not. But she is super talented.
Speaking of being talented, I feel like most people that are more on the stay-at-home side end up doing, like, do-it-yourself projects to make extra income.
Right? Like, there's lots of that. I know people that refinish furniture.
Yes.
And it's usually women. Because they're like, well, I'm already at home. I should be doing something else with my time. Because we feel like we have to fill our days.
Every little moment.
Yeah.
Even though your moment's already pretty filled with keeping up with the house.
Yeah. Keeping up with the house, keeping up with the kiddos. I don't care if you're homeschooling or not. Like, keeping up with them in their school, either at home or in a public school, it can be a lot to balance. And so you really have to balance all of that out, right? Like, I don't know. I have so many calendars that I try to keep schedules written on. I'm that mom I got the calendar in my purse, I got the calendar at my desk, and I got the calendar on my phone.
I'm sorry, I'm laughing because I had a moment of, I guess we can say, clarity with my husband not too long ago. So I got very frustrated because I sent an email that was every day that the daycare was going to be closed. And every day that I had taken off, I forwarded it to him. He sent me back an email and listed like 4 or 5 of those days that he was just so happened to be off. And I said, awesome. First of all, it's very odd to email your significant other. I completely understand that.
I do.
But that's not actually where the fight came in. The fight came in because months later, he comes in and tells me, well, what are you doing on Monday? I said, well, I'm going to work, and you're staying home with the kiddo. It was February 20th.
Oh, yeah.
Martin Luther King Day. And
our President's Day.
I don't remember. I'm pretty sure. Anyway.
I don't know.
But he comes in and says, oh, no, I have an extra gig that day. And this is very common with people who do have careers. They also do on their days off, if their kids are taken care of. He has days off during the week, and so during those days of the week, he'll do extra gigs. So, he said he had an extra gig that day. I said, excuse me? We had an email thread. we had it in writing. And he goes, did you add it to the family calendar? And I looked at him and I said, excuse me? First of all, I don't even know how to do the family calendar. It's on our phones. He says it's automatic. I'm not a whiz at software, okay? I'm not.
True.
Give me a motherboard and I will solder the shit back together. But software, not my thing.
That's funny.
And I said, I am not your secretary.
Yeah.
And that's when the disagreement...
And that's when the fight started.
Because I was going to have to take off last minute, or he was going to have to figure out how to get coverage for his gig. So anyway, I tell that story just because... That was very recent, and it just, those kind of conversations are going to be happening nonstop when you both work.
Yeah, so, figuring out your childcare arrangements is difficult. We do recommend listening to our season 1, episode 4 on childcare. I thought we did a really good job with that episode. So we talk about how to pick your daycare, location is a lot of things. But there's other factors too.
The cheese is pretty good with this wine, by the way. Just thought I'd throw that out there.
Thank you. I noticed you've been eating this whole time, so.
It's great. You're doing a great job.
Thanks. I'm trying. But you always have to have your backup plan with your childcare, though, right? Because,
yes.
I was telling my husband, if we had to continue taking off for our son being sick, we were going to have to call in a sitter. And you can find some people that will watch your child if they're sick. If you're running out of time off, which happens to us because our little doesn't just go, oh, I don't feel good one day. He's super sick for a week.
Yes,
every
that's how mine is too.
Every single time. I'm not 2 days. Everybody's like, it's a 24-hour bug. And I'm like, I would like to know when and where that happens because it has never happened for us. Ever.
So I actually have Eliza down as the emergency contact with my little because she's had to go get him multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had moments where I just had to rush, get him, and take him to Eliza, her house.
Yeah.
Like when my husband got bit by that dog, remember?
Yes,
So he was at work, got bit by a dog, and then of course he was bit all over his arms and legs, but because of that, he had to go to the hospital and get like vaccinated for rabies and stuff.
Yeah, fun
so
stuff.
I didn't know how bad it was, and so I had to rush get my kid to you because most of my family's in another town, so it'd take too long to drive 3 hours and be back. You know?
I have a lot of friends listed as emergency contacts for not only the wee one in daycare, but like my teenagers. Like they have aunts and uncles is what we call them listed on their pickup because you just never know.
Her daughter called me aunt the other day and I almost cried.
I know.
That's the first time she said it.
I know. I loved it. And she was like, do you think that's okay that I called her that? And I was like, of course it's okay.
I'm
like,
not an emotional being. I'm not an emotional being.
I
but
think she
I had to
loves it.
remind myself that day.
I know. It was adorable. She's so sweet sometimes. But she's at that stage.
Mm-hmm.
There are moments.
It's hit or miss.
It's hit or miss. So the other problem with everybody working, right, is that at some point you have to come home and take care of your house. I've not been doing such a good job of that here, I'll be honest.
Me and my husband had a recent disagreement about that as well.
Well, y'all are having all kinds of fun at home.
I know. Well, I'm talking in the span of a month as well, so that's good. But no, this past week. Because there's just so many chores, and it built up too quick. And we just got a new bed suit for my kiddo to be a big boy bed.
I saw that. It was adorable.
A big boy bed. But with that, I demolished the rest of the house. And so we just had some moments of, well, he wanted to work here, and I wanted to work in this room, and we disagreed on which would benefit us the best. Mm-hmm.
So my problem is that if I don't agree with what my husband wants to do for the weekend, it's always the weekends that he's like, we're going to do extra, like he's like, he's got like a list written out of things we got to get done. And I'm like, but I was really feeling like not doing any of these things. Like, I'll do a couple of loads of laundry, and he's
binge
like
watching some Netflix, folding laundry.
Yeah, that's my goal. That's all I want to do on a weekend. And he's like, we gotta mow the yard, we gotta dust, we gotta sweep, mop, and vacuum. And I'm like, oh, all in one day though? Like, can we like space it out? And I'm gonna tell y'all, if I don't get up and I don't assist in this, like things happen that I don't like. So, and I think he does it on purpose. Let's be honest. I'm pretty sure he just causes full panic on my end.
Yes.
So we've learned to compromise, right? Like a couple weekends ago, he wanted to mow the yard and clean and stuff, and I went, I don't want to do that. So I left. I took the kids and we went to this event in town, and I was like, we'll be back in a few hours.
Well, it's kind of helpful though, because I'd be honest, if someone would just take my kid,
you can get a lot done.
I can do so much more, so much quicker.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, I'm going to take the kids and we're going to go do fun stuff. And he's like, peace out. And I was like, peace. Like, I don't need that in my life. You can clean. But now I'm paying for it because now I really do need to clean my house.
Yes. Or you'll never see where the salad spinner got put, or the wine opener.
I know. Thankfully, I put that
disappear.
Away. Yeah, they do.
I couldn't find the can opener to save my life a few weeks ago.
Don't you hate that? And you're like, that's an important piece of my household.
I just gave up and I did something else.
I don't blame you. That's probably where I'd get at some point. Oh, I found a can opener in a cabinet. I didn't even know I had a second can opener, by the way. But apparently I have a second can opener. But I found it under a bunch of pots and pans. And I was like, where the hell did this even come from? We've lived in this house for almost 6 years now. So it's not that the previous owner left it here kind of thing.
I could have been. You never know.
Well, that's true. I never know. But I was still like, what the hell? So I washed it and put it in the drawer with the other one. I was like, I don't even know where this came from. But I have 2 can openers. So that's just a fun story.
So fancy.
I know. But you also have to know when to ask for the help with things. And by that, I don't mean like...
make sure this happens today.
Yeah, like, I reached out...
It's not a dictatorship.
Yeah, I mean, I even reach out to, like, friends and family when I'm like, hey, I'm really stretched thin. Could you pick up X child? Right? Like, could you pick up this one? I need to go get this one, but I also have to take this one to a doctor's appointment. And Honey said he'll pick up this one. So, if you'll pick up just this one, Which, by the way, when you have 3 children that are scattered all over a town, it's really hard to get from point A to point B and everywhere you want to be all at the same time. So it's really nice if you can reach out to friends or family members and ask for that type of help, because just having somebody pick up your kid after school so that they make it to whatever practice they've got to make it to is super helpful sometimes.
I asked my sister how she keeps up with the 4 kids she has, because they're ranged from 6 years old to 14.
Oh my gosh.
And so that's just such a wide range that they're all doing different activities every day. And she said, just calendars. And I go, I don't.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
Like, even with a calendar, like, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you keeping up with this?
Yeah.
Like, where do you write the location on your calendar?
Carefully, very carefully. That's how you do it.
Tiny writing.
Yeah. It's a balancing act, right? And you have to be able to ask for that help to balance the act. I feel like that's really important. I don't know. And then you have to change your priorities, right? Like, being at work on time is always a priority, but getting off work on time could be a priority.
Huge priority for me, because traffic, I'll be late to daycare and they'll charge me more than I make in an hour if I'm there a minute late.
Yeah,
so
isn't that ridiculous?
I'm going to be there.
Yeah, so, like, getting off work on time, it becomes a new priority, where maybe you stayed late and did extra projects, or you came in on your day off, or those kind of things. Like, those take a back seat when you have to prioritize in that manner. And some people may disagree with me on that one, and that's cool, but I feel like every day at 5, I'm out. I have my bag ready. It is packed. I'm out.
I have to leave at 4:45, so I do my darndest to be at work by 7:45 because I can't make it to my kids' daycare in time.
Yeah, so I'm at work at 8 and I leave at 5. And thankfully, like, that's never been an issue, especially in my current job. Like, before that, I might have had some issues depending on what day of the week it was if an emergency happened. But these days, I've got a lot more flexibility, more opportunities if I need to work from home. It's more allowed.
Well, it's also because you made that conscious decision to go to that role.
Yeah, I did.
Sometimes that's needed.
Yeah, sometimes you can love the job you're in, but maybe it does not fit what you need in your life. And so you have to make that decision to find the job that's going to be the better fit for you. And so that can be difficult. I mean, I'm not going to say moving jobs is easy, because it's generally not. Like, it can be overwhelming. You got to meet new people. I've been in my job for a year, and I just learned somebody's name and face the other day, and I was like, oh, that's who that was. Oh, I thought it was this guy over here. My bad. And it was at his retirement party.
You live in Riddler. Of course, it's a retirement party.
I was like, oh, now that I know who he is, I'm not going to work with him.
Actually left.
Yeah, I mean, that's nice, right? Bonus. I need a refill on my wine. I feel like I drank it all too fast.
That's probably true.
Here, pour me a little sample. I want to try the cheeses.
It's really good with the cheeses. That extra sharp cheddar.
I was going to say, you've been eating the cheddar. What are the other ones you packed here for us?
There's some Monster.
Moonster?
How do you say that? And then there's some shaved Parmesan.
I was going to say, recognize the Parmesan.
And then that one is Monterey.
The Parmesan's nice. It's got a nice
I figured
crispness.
the white cheeses will go well with the white wines, right? Because they're softer.
Ooh, yeah, the Parmesan goes well with this, just FYI. It's much better than the mango did. I was super disappointed. We're just going to take the fruit
craft.
Hey,
it's craft shaved Parmesan.
You didn't go to the deli and get the fancy shit? No, that's okay.
My kid only has so much patience when we're in the grocery store. Grabbing a few cheeses all right next to each other in a nice little baggie, great.
I just go to Kroger and buy the giant blocks of cheese and then dice them up when I get home. That's how fancy we are. And it's usually the Kroger brand. Like, let's be honest. Like, I am not going all out for cheeses. But
I don't know if they have shaved Parmesan in the Kroger brand.
I honestly have no idea. I've never
I remember
looked.
it being a blue and white package, so I'm pretty positive it was Kraft.
Well, yeah, so I know Kraft does theirs, because I bought their shredded Parmesan there before. For a recipe, This would go really good with some chicken or shrimp, I think. I don't think I would do like a spicy dish with this because I feel like it's not sweet enough.
Shrimp scampi.
Oh my gosh, you could even cook it in the wine and then drink. So
and have some fettuccine alfredo.